right. Game number 2. Bet online number. The only game Friday. Bad job of the NFL. One Friday night game. I think there's 10 preseason games on Saturday. NFL Network. Seahawks at home to the Vikings. Seattle 3, 40 the total. You're seeing some Vikings money, and why not? Seattle -3, even money at some key shops. What do you do when both coaches are play on? Zimmer and bet on. Zimmer, 13-1 straight up in the preseason, 12-2 ATS. Carroll, 29-16 straight up, and 30-14-1 ATS. Wasn't pretty on offense for the Vikings against the Bills. Only 240 total yards and only 1 first down in 3 series with Bradford on the field. But Zimmer liked it. They only had 3 penalties.
Well, I mean, you talk about the concept here. We have Zimmer, bet on all the way in August. Pete Carroll, bet on all the way in August. What do? Simple. Either you pass the game or you dig for information. What's our job? We're looking to dig for information to see if we can find anything. You talked about Minnesota as being a team that, they weren't necessarily pretty against the Bills. When you get 242 yards of the total offense, when your starting offense gets only 1 first down in 3 drives, that's not exciting stuff. Now, Case Keenum came in and filled it was very good. 11 of 16, 121 yards off the bench. His the passing was half of all the team yards, and he's a solid number 2 QB for preseason. But there's this thought out there, Pauly, that the Minnesota Vikings under Mike Zimmer, they really, really, really want to win these preseason games. Mike Zimmer's quote tells a little bit of a different story.
Ask if these games really matter to him. It really doesn't. I do think it's good to win. If we're playing tiddlywinks, I think it's good to win. I think the competitor part of me, it's always good. At the end of the day, does it matter? No. But I think the competitive nature of your team, especially if you got a young team getting used to winning, that's good. I know the record, and certainly strong, which you can say it doesn't really matter, but then you're 13-1 straight up, so give me a break. But how about Boykin, the kid from TCU, as the backup with Seattle? He's a dangerous number 2, 12 of 15 for 189 yards and a touchdown against the Chargers, as we talked about as our keys to how you can win in the preseason. This is a guy what you want, Teddy. He can take off and run and scramble and move the chains to get you some yards and touchdowns.
Yeah, he sure can. But let me go back to that Zimmer quote for just 1 second. Asked specifically, does winning these games matter? And he says, quote, it really doesn't. At the end of the day, does it matter? No. So the Vikings with that, very gaudy, positive, straight up preseason record, the coach is saying there's some randomness in that. And the markets, they're not saying that necessarily just yet. But obviously, you talk about Trevon Boykin and a guy who, we've liked since his days at TCU, one of the most dangerous preseason number 2 quarterbacks. Dynamite last week versus the Chargers, has that dual threat. The mobility, a huge problem for defenses in August because they don't see running quarterbacks at all in camp practices. And if they do see them, they can't hit them anyway. So it really is a unique situation for defenses when you have these dual threat QBs on the field against backup defenders and third string defenders. And of course, running quarterbacks, that's a part of the Seahawks offense. So it's not like Pete Carroll is telling his QBs, don't do that in August. Last week, the combination of Wilson, Boykin, and Davis, 54 rushing yards from the quarterbacks. And of course, the Seahawks also, they've got good depth at running back for a preseason. I mean, when you have Thomas Rawls and Eddie Lacy, CJ Prosty, I mean, it's really a deep RB group for Seattle. And none of those guys played a whole lot last week. We could see more of that trio against the Vikings on Friday night.
Hey guys, for the full video, go to sbrpicks.com.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.